Verdict. What is it going to be?
Really, but I think I fancy Enyimba picking, something positive. Even though we victoried a point, I don't see them losing to Atlan. Enyimba looks very good and they look very, very confident.
All right. Warri Wolves Sunshine, the guys have resumed training. They are back in training and they have, stopped their protest. And the coach says, look, my boys are back, they're training, forget about all of those things that have happened, we're ready for Sunshine. How prepared do you think they will be?
I think they'll be fully prepared because Paul Agbogun has said they want to rival Enyimba for the title. Yes, the players might have not been paid, but they want to put all that aside. And one thing that's always helped Warri Wolves is the fact that they've not solely relied on Bola Salami. Even when he was invited to Super Eagles, Sikiru Alimi and all those guys will still step up and get goals. And I also know that they are the best home side right now in the league. 15 games they've played, they've won 14 and they've just lost once. And they scored 35 goals. In fact, only Sunshine Stars have scored more goals than them, which is 36 at home. And you ask yourself, playing against the Sunshine Stars, who got their second away victory of the campaign some weeks back against Kwara United since March day 9. So they've really been struggling on the road. They've lost double digits already on the road this season, and against the Warri Wolves side, if Salami plays, it's definitely going to be a huge plus for them. Even if he doesn't play, the other guys have this way of psyching themselves up. We saw what they did last week away to Kano Pillars. He plays, they've lost in the last 6 games even without scoring. They were able to put other poor statistics and got that's a favorable draw that still see them.
Let me also put you on the spot. Warri Wolves Sunshine, what's the most likely or let me say possible outcome?
I think it's a no-brainer for me. Wolves will take that one.
Okay, Wolves will take that one. So let's just leave it at that and move on. This is the kind of stuff you don't really want to talk about sometimes. Kind of stuff, you hope it wasn't actually true, but guess what, it is. And that's what you have on your screen. Talking about the Nigeria Professional Football League, that the LMC writing clubs owing players. We put our producer Donade Okota put together some tidbits on the letter that the LMC has written to debtor clubs. Taraba FC has been granted 10 days extension to pay 11 months salaries hold players. Of course, Taraba state government pledges to defray debts to players and officials before Friday, October 16. LMC reminds Warri Wolves of October 24 deadline to pay financial entitlements due players and officials. And also the LMC warns that failure to meet deadline will meet 6 points deductions. That is huge. That is huge. That is. But how do you react to that? It's not something that we are hearing for the first time. There have been threats, and the LMC chairman has been on this show a number of times, and we've asked him how, what could be done to ensure that these clubs pay their players, and he said it goes beyond fines. And this is what we're seeing now. 6 months. A team like Enyimba, for instance, who don't want to lose 6 points. And I don't even think Warri Wolves at this point.
6 points minus 52, that would be a big minus for them. But I think you said a lot of threat, but this season is very, very different. LMC keep repeating these things. Imagine, in those days, the league body will just come out and say, you haven't played, you'll be fine, and that's the end. But LMC keep reminding the clubs and also taking the news to the public. Now, October 24, we are waiting.
For Warri Wolves.
If Wolves fail to play October 24,
October 16, Taraba state government.
The world should expect an LMC with a statement that 6 points has been deducted from a point. And also same thing to Taraba. So I really want to give kudos to LMC because the fact is they keep communicating with the public, the media, and also with the clubs. In those days, just like I said, after the first news, everything is gone under the carpet, but this one is look very different. But just like the certain is 11 months is not really good.
We shouldn't be saying that. Talk about that.
I think government really need to sit up. They are the sponsors, and also they need to wake up to their responsibility. If they are not capable enough to take care of these clubs, all you just need to do is bring in an expert that will run the clubs for you.
Reduce your involvement one way or the other.
Your involvement.
Just have controlling stakes
over it.
But Julian, let me bring Julian into it. Does the punishment fit the crime?
I think to an extent it does. And my take on this, one or two club sides should be used as scapegoats. Then perhaps other, I mean, Daraba FC are almost starting to get relegated. If you now deduct 6 points from what they have right now, then it's confirmed they'll go play in the NNL. Now, he just spoke about what the Wolves. They have 52 points. Imagine if you deduct 6 points from them, then they'll find themselves in the position Kano Pillars are finding themselves right now. So I feel the LMC, I'm waiting for October 16 and 24th. If they do not do anything to these two club side, then it's really...
No, but we are assuming that those clubs will not do what they promised to do.
You know, that means
in case they do, then the LMC doesn't have to do anything.
They are fear of the punishment.
It's all clear.
But it's like, but with the way this thing is looking, I'm really not sure this club side will yield to this day, because it's not the first time they've been warned. Okay. Remember, they've been given 30 days or and all of that, but you still see the same thing happening. And the season is about to win. If these players do not get paid, they will have to go on hungry stomachs until the next season comes around. You know,
so and if the next season comes, clubs just tell you that we don't need you.
I mean, they just sell these players to other clubs. All right. It doesn't make sense.
It's not looking good. But we just have to fold our hands and wait and look at what's going to happen. But like Tobi Adepoju has said, the LMC, they're doing the right things now. But when a club now defaults, then we wait to see
what they will do.
The threats, maybe those threats. But let's leave it at that. And let's also appeal to clubs, state governments who own those clubs. Please pay these players so that we don't get to read about all the negative things all the time. You saw the highlights, beautiful goals, guys sweating it out, giving their best, doing what they know how to do. And I think it's only fitting that those guys should get what is due to them. Okay, let's leave the domestic scene and go to the continent. Let's talk about continental competitions. Talk about the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup. Well, it's no longer news that we don't have any Nigerian team in any, I repeat, any of those competitions. But of course, it's also our duty to let you know what is going down this weekend in the CAF Champions League and of course in the CAF Confederations Cup. All right, that's it on your screen. We start with our own version, the biggest competition on the continent. That's it on your screen. It is the CAF Champions League. And of course, what you have on screen, USM Algeria taking on Al Hilal. And first leg result was 2-0 in favor of...
USM won on the road?
Yes.
2-1.
Yeah. So, what's 2-1? Sorry, I beg your pardon. What's 2-1? I have TP Mazembe back where they belong. At some point, they were in the CAF competition. So, they're back where they belong. Found a way to get to the final. Lost the first leg. 2-1. Played against Al Merrek. Lost 2-1. And they have the chance this weekend to turn things around. So, we'll see how all of that pans out. Let's go out the CAF. Let's move over. Well, some will say a step down. I feel it's not right to say a step down because just like the Europa is very difficult in Europe.
Just the second tier.
Just the second tier. Yeah. Well, so some will say a step down, but I think it's also competitive. All right, let's see if we can get it on screen for you. Talking about the CAF Confederations Cup, you have Al Ahly taking on Orlando Pirates. Slim advantage for Orlando Pirates in the first leg. 1-0 victory, that is. And of course, Zamalek taking on Etoile du Sahel.
Etoile looking through already?
Yes.
5 goes to 1.
Looking like it's a done deal.
I mean, it's going to be difficult.
But Julian, you just have to give kudos to the Egyptian teams. In spite of all the problems they've had, their leagues not really faltering. They have a lot of problems in Egypt, but these teams still found a way to get to this level.
I think for Zamalek, they've done well so far. If they crash out of the CAF Confederations Cup, they've still had a decent season.
They can hold their heads high.
They've won the league. They beat Al Ahly to that. Just last week, they beat Al Ahly to the Egyptian FA Cup as well. So they've already done a domestic double, and it was some minutes of madness on the part of the team, losing 5 goals to 1. But they can also take solace in the fact that in the last group game, they beat Orlando Pirates by 4 goals to 1. It was a battle for who tops the group. So who says they can't score 4 goals against the Etoile side, even though it's looking very unlikely, or win 5-1 and take the game to the lottery of penalties. So in football on the continent, never say never, but I still believe I still believe Etoile Sahel would do enough.
Your pick for the final, based on the first leg results?
I think Al Ahly will bounced back. They lost to 1-0, but the good news for Orlando Pirates is the fact that their captain is back, Upa Manyisa, Happy Jele, so they have the full complement of their squad. And also Alakli also will do the same thing. But trust me, in Cairo, the fans will.
You are refusing to mention two teams that will be in the final.
I've already mentioned Etodu Sahel,
okay.
but I think Orlando Pirates might nick it because the last time they went to Cairo, that was in 2013, the CAF Champions League. They beat them by 3 goals to nothing. But I still believe that I like Orlando Pirates a lot.
I do
play
too.
This free-flowing football.
I do,
and I'd like to see them in the final.
Okay, your picks, Toby.
Yeah, I think it is moment for South Africans. I think Pirates will get to the final. They kept a clean sheet in the first leg. Yes, slim victory, but the clean sheet they kept is very important.
Vital for the second leg.
Al Ahly, yes, is strong side. Look very good, experience on their side. They won the title.
And defending champions.
But defending champions also
as well, yes.
But I think it's going to be a Toyi. And just like I said, time for the South African to have a team in the final. And it's going to be a Toyi Pirate. My own opinion, hopefully.
Okay. And the good thing about all of this is that we don't have to wait for too long. Just this weekend, we'll see how all of it pans out. We know the finalists for CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederation Cup. And hopefully, this time next year, when we're talking about these competitions, we'll have Nigerian teams, getting to this level. And, we hope and pray. Like we always do. Like we always do in Nigeria. All right, let's relax a little. Sit back and relax. Let's allow you enjoy highlights from the German Bundesliga. Some people will say football made in Germany, but let's leave you to form your own opinion. Enjoy the highlights, and we'll be back for more on Sports Tonight.